Hello everyone, welcome to Elliott Wave Forex.com YouTube channel. My name is Henry. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd. The time is around 1 a.m. GMT. And for today, we're going to be looking at the chart of Microsoft. This is a short-term chart, 30 minutes here. We can see right here we have ended with W. Okay, and we can see in the subdivision we see an X and a Y here. So this W is in the form of a WXY, and now we're doing this with X rally in a three-wave zigzag, right? And from there we can see for the downside. Now when you look at this chart here, again, if you understand Elliott Wave, this doesn't mean this is bullish, right? And we're looking for the downside here. As you can see, main idea is we will see for the downside once we finish this 3S correction. Now if you understand the alternate and so on, that means the main idea is this one instead of this one, right? So that means you should be aware, for example, the possibility there could be alternates in which we don't make another push higher and then we just go down straight, for example, because eventually what we're looking at here is for the downside once the rally here and the correction here is complete, right? Now let's zoom out a little bit. I will explain how to make sense of this Microsoft and how to position yourself, right? I'm gonna look at the daily chart and I'm going to place all these labels here that you see in the 30 minutes on the daily chart. So this W here, okay, let's place the Y and W here on the daily chart. This is a daily chart, this is your Y, and this is your W, and this is your X. Now based on this alone, you can somehow interpret the higher degree time frame. So if this is so, that means this is your W, right? And then that means we're talking about the move that started from this peak here, August 20th. And this is the way you make sense of the label, even if you don't see all the labels. Now all the labels of course will be provided in the member area, right? And you can try our service for 14 days if you want to check our service, right? Now from here we got this WXY ended a W in the higher degree, right? Ended a W in higher degree, and now we're looking for an X which may or may not see another leg higher, right? With in the 1 hour we are looking for potentially another leg higher, but again the main idea is not that we have to rally here, but the main idea is we should be looking for the downside as long as we stay below here. That's the main idea. Now take a look at this structure here. Let's take a look at the RSI. Now I think if you look at the price action, it is not entirely clear what the stock is doing, but if you look at the RSI momentum, I think it is very clear that the cycle is finished. What I mean by that is you can see in the RSI is kind of resetting to the downside. This cycle and this cycle has nothing to do with each other, meaning this has nothing to do with this. So if you think this is some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then based on the RSI, based on the momentum is telling you most likely this is not a wave 4 if you're looking at it from here, the starting point here. So what the momentum is telling you is this cycle is over, which looks like a 5 waves, looks like an impulse. This cycle is over, and now this is a different thing that at the least minimum expectation is going to be correcting the cycle, right? It's going to be correcting the cycle. You can see how the cycle is all in a nice channel, and then recently it breaks out of the channel. Same thing as this nice channel breaks outside the channel. So we are looking at minimum correction of the cycle that started from May, right? Now ask yourself this question: if it is going to be correcting the May, do you think this is a a deep enough correction to finish that and starts maybe a new bullish leg on the upside? And the answer is always going to be there is always a possibility for that to happen. But when a cycle ends like this, typically you want to check how how reasonable the correction is by using retracement, right? Fibonacci retracement. You can see right here we are only retracing 23.6% retracement. Now, typically, when you see shallow retracement like 23.6, 38.2, that usually reserved for some sort of wave 4, right? Some sort of wave 4. Now, unless in the bigger degree, this is maybe counted from here, and this becomes like 1 2, because we don't know the higher degree label, right? 1 2 3 4. Now if that's the case, then yeah, we could potentially still see another leg higher, right? See another leg higher over here before we finish. So it depends on your starting point. If your starting point is from May 14, right? If your starting point is from May 14, then this is too shallow to be a correction of May 14. But if your starting point is like say March or lower, right? And then you are counting this as actually wave 3, and then if that's the case, uh, then this could be a wave 4. I mean, this could be 1 2 3 4, and then go up higher, right? And go up higher. Now in fact, you can see right here, let's let me take out this all discount here, right? If you measure the correction here, you can clearly see a perfect 3 swings from the August 20, reaching the 100% extension and bouncing, right? So that is telling you so far all you got is only 3 swing, which is bullish, unless it makes new low from here. But so far it is bullish. So if this is actually wave 3, if this is actually wave 4, you could in fact be breaking to the upside, right? You could in fact be breaking to the upside. Um, but but if not, then we can be looking for a larger degree correction to correct this cycle from May. And based on the correlation we see in other indices, it looks like it is possible we see further downside still in the indices and stock, right? And that's why we are calling this WX. But I'm just explaining to you the alternate. I know people don't like to hear alternate, and they always say, oh, it can do this, it can do that, and so on. Yes, everything has probability, in case you don't know that. And we're just looking at all different possibilities and trying to rank the probability and trying to explain why this is a higher probability than the others, right? And looking at the other instrument right now within the group, and also the yen crosses and so on, we do think that there is a higher probability we should be looking for the downside. So does it mean it cannot go higher at all? The answer is this possible? So far we have 3 waves, and so if this is a wave 4 from here, 1 2 3 4, then yes, certainly we can make another high in the wave 5 right here, right? In fact, if people are bullish, for example, they would have bought it here when they see through its pullback at the 100%, and by now, since we have seen the reaction higher, they already moved their stop loss, and that's the way they do it, right? They already moved their stop loss without any risk. Now, if the Microsoft can do this and break below here again, then you will then have a 1 2 3 4 5 swing, and that will confirm that we are indeed going to be doing further downside in 7 swing, right? WXY. So for now, we don't have the confirmation that we're going to continue to go down in a bigger degree 7 swing. The confirmation, like I said, is only when you break below that previous low again, right? Until then, what you got so far is only 3 swing. However, based on the remember, based on what we observe in other stock and other groups like the yen pairs and so on, we do think there is a higher chance we will see, or we will extend lower a little bit more in the 7 swing structure, and that will be valid as far as the rally fails below this August 20 or even below X, right? As far as it stays below 305, we are at the risk of, or we have a high probability of another leg on the downside in the Microsoft. Okay. Now, in terms of how much lower, then it will depend on where the X ends, and then we can measure the 100% extension from August 20th with regards to the WX in blue, and then we can better target the possible target on the downside of the WXY. And again, the confirmation is once we break below the W again, that should confirm the extension to the downside. All right, so that's the update here for today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Have a nice day, everyone.